Is this loud enough? There we go. Oh, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the last hometown treasures. Our next speaker is a professor of history right here at Shaw University. He's the head instructor at Diplo Martial Arts Center USA and a professional mixed martial arts competitor and champion. In addition, this multi-talented gentleman has done extensive research on professional boxer and Shaw University alum, James Bonecrusher Smith. Let's give it up for the one and only Professor Harold Hubbard.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay.
All right. I came in with my topic, historical treasure of Shaw University for graduates. As my introducer stated, I'm a big fan of boxing, combat sports, and I'm a participant of combat sports as well. And I like to highlight and spotlight different aspects of combat sports and historical significance. So my presentation is titled Catching the Fade, 100 Years of Heavyweight Dominance, and a case study of James Bonecrusher Smith. He's a graduate of this university, former athlete here, went on to go through a lot of important things. So, here we can. When we talk about boxing in its modern context, we want to talk about the past and how we got to the significance of James Bonecrusher Smith. When we talk about boxing, we got to first start with the history of boxing in American society, and the first of that American society of boxing is Tom Woodnex. We are deeply indebted to the Woodnex family. Tom's father was the first bare-knuckle boxer in American society that helped spread bare-knuckle boxing, and his son will be the first elite heavyweight boxer in American society, setting a trend for a lot of the heavyweights that will come along after him. And the first of those elite heavyweights is Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson is significant in history for a lot of reasons, some good, some bad, but a lot of it is still notable. Jack Johnson is the first heavyweight champion in American history of African descent, and he will go on to hold the title from 1908 to 1915. That is important because we talk about the society in which Jack Johnson was in and how he had to face adversity, the things he had to overcome. At the end of his career, he had to face the American judicial system as well as some of the toughest opponents he had to face. Then we transition next to Joe Louis. Joe Louis was the next black heavyweight champion that was allowed the opportunity to fight for the title. This is significant for the simple fact that coming off the heel of Jack Johnson and his impact on the national level, he had a stir of negative publicity that affected other black boxers that came after him. So when we think about Jack Johnson, historically, his accomplishments, he was the first to win the title, but because of his personal preference in partners, he had a national outrage that was created. In a defining book by Alton Gilmore's labeled Bad Leader, he actually talked about that national impact, the significance, and the most important understanding of who and what Jack Johnson was. And then on the heel of that, we will go into Joe Louis, where Joe Louis was only given an opportunity to fight for the heavyweight title because he had to make certain agreements. And one, if he beat any non-black fighters, he wouldn't celebrate. When he did win his title, he wouldn't take pictures with white women. He had to make certain agreements in his contract that he had to agree upon to even get his title shot. When he did get his title shot, he made the most of it. He won the title in 1937, and he carried that title until 1949. He's still considered one of the top 5 heavyweight champs of all time, longest reigning heavyweight champ. He defended the title 25 times, and in boxing, he had heavyweight title fights alone. He was 25-2. And that is significant because at the same time, as we discussed with Jack Johnson, American society was not giving him the same opportunities that was afforded other people, and he had to overcome and persevere so that he could get these opportunities and make the best of those opportunities. As we continuously move forward thinking about generational talent and the heavyweights of the 100 years, Muhammad Ali is probably the best case study that people will most likely know and remember, not just because of how great he was as a boxer, 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, Olympic champion in 1960, but because of his moral fiber, his resolve to speak up and stand up for issues that he believed in. Those issues would cost him 3 of his best years to fight as the heavyweight champion of the world, but he would get it back and become a heavyweight champion 3 times. And some of those things allowed him to become a champion 3 times was his high fiber IQ and his moral fiber that kept him resolved, steadfast, to show what he was and label himself as a great. This leads us up to the era when Bonecrusher Smith will fight for his title. But we come into this era, which is considered the golden era of media and sports, where in the 1980s, we began to see pay-per-view buys make a meteor rise of these type of athletes. And that athlete that would be the best example that was spotlighted in boxing would be Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, or they was referred to at his time as Iron Mike Tyson, he was a generational talent. He still represents 3 of the top 10 best-selling pay-per-view title fights ever. And then also, he was one of those people that helped the pay-per-view frenzy, the media frenzy transition to keep the sport in the spotlight. That is significant because when he was on his quest to win all the titles that he currently had there, he would have to run into one of Shaw's own. James Bonecrusher Smith. James Bonecrusher Smith is unique for a variety of reasons. One, James Bonecrusher Smith, he attended the University of Shaw University, but he also was an athlete. He played basketball here at the university, and you'll see pictures of him on the next slide. He played basketball here at the university. He also would graduate, go into the military, serve in the Army, as well as learn to box while in the Army. As an amateur boxer, he would go 35-4, and he would decide at an older age than most boxers, he would turn pro at 27. So when Bonecrusher Smith decided to turn pro, most people will be considered at their peak. He was just turning pro professional. So when we continuously think about some of the things he accomplished, he had a professional record of 44, 17, and 1, and he fought the absolute best of his generation, from the legendary fighter Larry Holmes twice. He fought Mike Tyson for the unified heavyweight title of the world. He fought Mike Weaver, Razor Rudder. He fought numerous Hall of Fame fighters that he would go on to distinguish himself, winning some, losing some, but he was definitely a champion. Bonecrusher Smith won his title in 1986. As we have highlighted here, one of the things we have in this slide, we have Bonecrusher Smith, as you see with the arrow, him part of his basketball career here at the university, his uniform standing, and then we also have him highlighted when he won the title in 1986. What is unique about Bonecrusher winning this title was, during his career, he was signed to Don King Promotion, who didn't promote him the way he felt was necessary, didn't give him all the opportunities. When he did get heavyweight title fights, it was usually on back-end, short-notice fights when he fought Larry Holmes for the title, and he didn't have the performance he felt like he needed to get opportunities to move forward. However, what is significant about this, he will get this opportunity in 1986 on a short-notice fight, and what he would do at Madison Square Garden, main event, he would stop being heavyweight champion of the world, Tim Witherspoon, in 48 seconds. So he was brought in to lose, and he knocked Tim Witherspoon down 3 times in 48 seconds and become the heavyweight champ in 1986. He would hold the belt from 86 to 87, and then he would end up suing Don King for Don King not promoting the right way, and in the midst of him suing Don King, he ended up earning a title shot or unification fight with Mike Tyson to unify the heavyweight titles of the world. This is an example of what his work was like in his people. Some of those fights you saw, it was Mike Tyson in his prime when they fought for the unification. You see him fighting with Larry Holmes, who was on his streak of being the second longest reigning heavyweight champion world. Picking up the sport at his late age, he still exhibits some of the better abilities and skills to represent the golden era of media-driven heavyweight boxing. But what led me to using this as a historical hometown narrative, I felt like teaching here at Shaw University, I was telling my students that a lot of times you don't know what you have at this university if people don't highlight it. And so one of the things that I want to do is highlight some of the history that is often overlooked. James Bonecrusher Smith is not only a college graduate, he's an alum of this university. And then we also have to give him his credit and his flowers for the simple fact most heavyweight champs or most professional fighters don't have degrees. He is the first heavyweight champion to earn his degree, and he did it before he got in a fight. So he already knew what his goals were, and without accomplishment, and when he got new goals, he stayed fast and stayed focused on the job to accomplish it. So when I think about hometown treasures, I want my students to know there's more than one way to be great. There's more than different ways to fight and be an example for young people. And if it means through sports, great. If it means through academics, great. However, matter as long as you go out and put your best foot forward and represent the very nation at its finest. At that time, this is my presentation. If anybody has any questions for me, I am open to doing it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, that was great. I love that. I never even knew anything about bone pressure. Go figure. See, that's why we have archivists and researchers doing all this work. Question, did he ever fight Muhammad Ali?
So he came in after.
Sorry, one mic.
So Muhammad Ali last fight was in 1980. He actually started boxing as an amateur in 1981. So his career didn't overlap. He fought some of the people and beat some of the people that beat Muhammad Ali at the very end of his career. They didn't actually cross paths in the ring.
So my next question, because I love sports so much, but this is more on the professional side. So you unearthed this information, but also, like say if there were researchers coming. See, this information is important for researchers to be able to use university archives. What was the other one I had written down? University archives. And can't even remember. Black newspapers. I saw that you had the Carolinian newspaper in there. So when we're doing this research on our families and our history and genealogy, don't forget about the black newspapers, the university archives, as well as the TV and radio archives as well, because these are all so important that you may not even, think about when you're doing your research.
Thank you.
I think you can hear me. Can everyone hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Right, I have camera speak a little loud. Is Mr. Smith from North Carolina? Magnolia. And I also want to add, in 1990, I worked with the Government's Council on Physical Fitness and Health, and Bonecrusher Smith was one of our council members.
Wow.
He's still in the Carolinas. He lives currently in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Hi everyone, my name is Shirley Hinton. I want to announce that James Bonecrusher Smith and myself were crowned Living Legends in 2017 at the United Negro College Fund Banquet in Winston-Salem.
Wow.
So I will speak about the way we came about this collaboration. So this was very organic. He is my colleague, and he came into my office and he was like, "Hey, I want to do this certificate." But yeah, let's see how we can, present this, and of course we brought Marie in on it. And one of the things I have to give you credit for is he donated all of his magazines featuring Bonecrusher as well as other boxers to our library, so we are going to facilitate curating that for him. But that was the other reason why we thought it was so important to include him in this presentation, because again, it's about collaboration. I think Dr. Morris spoke about collaboration. Andre Van spoke about collaboration, and even though ours was very organic, who knew he had this wealth of knowledge if we had not just talked? And I don't even think we started talking about this originally, but it just kind of came up, and he was telling me about his dissertation topic, which is also related to boxing. And now we are having an exhibit that's featuring his hometown treasure, as well as disseminating this information to all of you guys so that you can take it and tell somebody about Shaw there as well. But let's give Professor Hubbard